Hey everyone, welcome back to Center Stage. I want to take a moment to actually thank you to the two of my first subscribers to my channel. I want to thank you very, very much. Means a lot. And thank you for the comments. Kind of reiterating what those comments were as they were on the Wizard of Oz video. So if you haven't seen the Wizard of Oz video, I highly recommend you go and watch that. But yeah, a very, very interesting concept for a musical on Broadway, and not many people know that it actually started on Broadway first before it went to MGM. Today's episode is kind of going to be a short one. It's going to talk about, since we're moving along in the years, Wizard of Oz was the biggest show of 1903. Not to say that there weren't other ones, but the Wizard of Oz was the biggest. So to move on into 1904, this musical is called Little Johnny Jones. So the little known musical, Little Johnny Jones, is actually packed with a phenomenal musical score, and it would open on Broadway at the Liberty Theater. Now, today, the Liberty Theater actually houses both Madame Tussauds and the AMC Empire Movie Theater. So it's a big chunk of real estate in New York City. Now, the last remaining remnant of the original theater, seen here, are its doors, which actually lead to a DJ nightclub. The cool thing is they kept the original theater intact, including both the balcony and the front of house seating and the stage. So it's all still the original. It's just been turned into like a DJ nightclub type of setting. So the show, with music and lyrics and a book by George M. Cohan, along with Cohan's most famous song, Give My Regards to Broadway, tells the story of Todd Sloan. Sloan is a famous American jockey who had traveled to England to ride in the Derby for King Edward VII. Now, Cohan had decided to introduce dance steps and European comedy features for which he would become famous, such as What Do You Take Me For, an Englishman? George was also known for getting his family in on the acts as well. And for Little Johnny Jones, his parents and his then wife, Ethel, also joined the cast. Now, to make sure the musical was right for Broadway audiences, George decided to try the show out in Hartford, Connecticut. After the successful run, the show was moved to the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia for a 2-week engagement, and then finally it opened at the Grand Opera House in Wilmington, Delaware, before its New York City debut. Now, although the Broadway run only lasted for a total of 52 performances, the production did went on to tour, where rewrites to the show actually helped move it along. Now, both in 1905 and 1907, Little Johnny Jones would see 2 Broadway revivals. The first playing over 200 performances at the New York Theater, which today actually houses both the Gap and the Old Navy flagship stores. They're right in downtown Times Square. This area in the 2000s actually housed the huge flagship store Toys R Us. So if you think about it, that's a huge block of real estate right there, just to house one theater. But to see that it's been repurposed into something that still brings people in today is pretty interesting and pretty cool to me. And then the second revival for Little Johnny Jones was actually done for a short run at the New York Academy of Music. The production would also see 2 adaptations for the motion pictures. The first as a silent film by Warner Brothers in 1942, and it would see well-known actor James Cagney appear in numbers and dances from the show in the film Yankee Doodle Dandy, as well as David Cassidy in the starring role for a 1981 revival. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this, please comment on what you liked or disliked. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to see other videos like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, that's a wrap.